Anansi, the spider, lived long ago in a small kingdom. The kingdom was ruled by a queen, but she was more than a queen. She was a sorceress as well. She had great power. She used her magic to bring the rain, to bring the sun. She knew many things, many secrets. She knew that numbers have great power, especially the number 5. No one in her kingdom was allowed to use the number 5. Anyone who so much as said the word 5 would fall into a deep, deep sleep. But there came a time when the queen did not use her magic to bring the rain. There was a terrible drought, and all the animals were starving. "What can we do? What can we do?" the animals cried. They all gathered together, and one of the animals, the old gray rabbit, held up his paw. "I have an idea. What if we took what little food we have, our favorite foods, what if we took them to the queen as a gift? Maybe then she'd bring back the rain." The other animals thought this was a wonderful idea, except for Anansi. For Anansi is always hungry. He can eat and never be full. He thought bringing all that food to the queen was a waste. He wanted it for himself, and he had a plan. Anansi went to a nearby orchard where the yam vines grew. He gathered up as many yams as he could find, and he took them to the road, where he piled them into small mounds. For Anansi knew all the animals bringing their gifts to the queen would have to travel down that road. And so there he sat, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited. And along came the old gray rabbit, hopping down the road with an armload of carrots, and Anansi called to the old rabbit, "Rabbit, I'm not very good at counting. Can you tell me, how many yam mounds do I have here?" The old gray rabbit looked at all those yam mounds, and he began to count. "Let's see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Upon saying the word 5, the old gray rabbit fell into a deep sleep. And Anansi ate all of his carrots. But Anansi was still hungry. He gathered up the old gray rabbit, and he hid the rabbit in the bushes. Then he sat down by the road once more. And Anansi waited, and he waited, and he waited. And along came the guinea hen, waddling down the road, with a loaf of bread tucked under her wing. And Anansi called to the hen, "Hen, I'm not very good at counting. Can you tell me, how many yam mounds do you see here?" "Oh, well, let's see. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Upon saying the word 5, the guinea hen fell into a deep, deep sleep, and Anansi ate her loaf of bread. But Anansi was still hungry, and so he gathered up the hen, and he hid her in the bushes as well. And as the hen and the rabbit both continued to snore, Anansi sat down by the road once more. He waited, and he waited, and he waited. And along came a pair of goats. They were carrying a sack of apples between them, and Anansi called to the 2 goats, "Goats, goats, I'm not very good at counting. How many yam mounds do you see here?" The goats looked at one another. They looked at Anansi and all those yams, and they saw feathers leading from the road to the bushes. And the 2 goats heard the sound of snoring. They knew at once what had happened. They looked at each other, they exchanged a wink, and they sat down on 1 mound of yams. Then together they began to count. "Anansi, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one they were sitting on. "Goats, you are not very good at counting. How many yam mounds do I have total?" The first goat replied, "Anansi, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one that we're sitting on." While the first goat spoke, The second goat lowered his head so Anansi could not see what he was doing, and that goat began to eat the yams. Anansi cried, "Goats! You are very bad at counting. How many yam mounds do I have total?" At that, the two goats sprang to their feet. "Anansi, you have four yam mounds. Look for yourself." Anansi looked, and sure enough, there were only 4. While Anansi puzzled and pondered over what had happened to that last yam mound, the goats continued on their way, and they brought their gift to the palace. "We brought you apples. Will you bring back the rain?" "No," said the queen. "I like the sun. I will not bring back the rain." "But we're hungry. Bring back the rain." "No," cried the queen. "I will not bring back the rain. I like the sun. Now be gone from my palace. Leave at once." The goats were so sad. The queen would not bring back the rain. They lowered their heads, and then they saw the beautiful green carpet. It reminded them of fresh, delicious grass, and they began to nibble at the threads. "Stop that!" cried the queen. "Stop eating my carpet, but we're hungry! Bring back the rain!" In a moment, the carpet was gone, but the goats were still hungry. They began to eat the curtains off the wall. "Stop that!" cried the queen. "Stop eating my curtains! Leave my palace, but we're hungry!" "If I bring back the rain, will you leave my palace and never return?" "Okay." The goats left, and the queen did as she said she would. She brought back the rain. She brought it back again and again, and soon there was plenty of food for all of the animals, except for Anansi. For Anansi can eat, and he can eat, and he is never full. But that is an entirely different story. Bring Back the Rain, an African tale. Thank you very much.